Sadaşivasamarambam Jnanasammandacharyamadyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today, Nirahara Samyama successfully happening 9th day. Today we are starting Nirahara Samyama level 1, 4th batch. Prashantatma Vigadabi Brahmachari Vrate Stitaha Manasamyamyamachittaha Yukta Asida Matparaha. Being serene with oneself, abstaining from apprehensions, having subdued the thoughts, intent on the vow of living like a god, following the vow of celibacy, intensely reflecting on me, live your life devoted to me. In this verse, Bhagavan breaks one of the important sacred secret truth to the humanity. He uses the word brahmacharya, living like a god. Just because I have the Rishi Sampradaya also does not mean I accept this concept of marriage in the life of a seeker. I am making it very clear. I am putting it very clear. Worst thing can happen to a seeker in the spiritual life is marriage. I know. I am going to break thousands of people's ignorance. Understand, as a compassionate being, I have to give place for everybody. Tolerated is different, accepted is different, realized is different. Marriage in the seeker's life is tolerated, Rishi order is accepted, but only brahmacharya is promoted. Whenever you go to the peak based on body, you get back to your animal biomemory, and again it takes at least few years of spiritual practice for you to raise to the level of divine. It is very rare I speak about the importance of brahmacharya, because sometimes it puts the householders into depression. But just because they fall into depression, I cannot be hiding the sacred truths for quite a long time. No. This time, I have decided I am going to speak about it completely. Let me define brahmacharya as per the Smriti. Karmana manacha vacha sarvavastu sarvada sarvatra maithunatyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. Brahmacharya is defined as abstinence from sexual intercourse in thought, word and deed in all conditions and places and times. Brahmacharyena tapasa deva mrityum upagnataha. This is the Atharva Veda's definition. The gods are said to have conquered death by brahmacharya. Tantra speaks about brahmacharya, understand. I will give you some more references. Jnana Shankalini Tantra. Natapas tapa iti ahuhu brahmacharyam tapottamam urdvaretha bhavet yastu sadevo natu manushaha. The true tapas is brahmacharya, and he who practices it uninterruptedly is divine, not human. Now let me come to the practical side of it. Understand? Already 1/3 of your life is gone in search of food, 1/3 has gone in sleep. In the remaining 1/3 till 25, too busy with education. After 65, body and mind won't be useful to do anything. Then between 25 and 65, that 40 years, If you get married also, gone. Seeking is building the new consciousness for you to take a jump. It is like a building an airport. How? An airport, runway is necessary for an aircraft to take off. Brahmacharya body is necessary for you to take off into enlightenment, into the planes of consciousness, into the space of consciousness. One of the main reasons Hinduism stopped being the tradition of living stream as a head of the oldest Hindu monastery, as the representative of the Hindu tradition, I am making this statement as self-introspection and self-criticism. It is very, very, very unfortunate that Hindu tradition is not remaining as a living stream of enlightened beings. I can say there are enlightened beings, there are few incarnations, but unfortunately Hinduism lost the streams of living masters, the streams which guarantees the production of living master. The organization or sanghas which guarantees at least few hundred living masters are continuously available from that source to the planet Earth. I can guarantee you, in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, at any given point 1000 living masters are there, enlightened masters. I can guarantee you, Japanese Zen tradition, at any given time 100 living masters are there minimum. I cannot guarantee you. In Hinduism, there is any organization which can guarantee minimum 100 living masters at any given time. One or two organizations have produced one or two masters. One or two masters have produced one or two organizations. That's all. The poverty in Hinduism is because the lack of the concept of brahmacharya into the Hindu spiritual tradition. They will ask, oh, can't householders get enlightened? Naturally, all masters have to say, yes, they can. Why? Because otherwise these guys will get depressed and will not even do the little spiritual practice they are doing. Then immediately they settle down, yes, yes, yes. Householders also can get enlightened. Oh, my son, please get married. You have fallen into the ditch and you are asking me, can I not become clean ever again? I tell you, yes, you can become. Then you tell, oh, my son, CC master told I can become clean again. You also fall into the same ditch. Let both of us be clean after some years. In the modern day, marriage has become a failure system. You don't need a separate hell other than marriage. If you are a seeker, sincere seeker, please understand, I am not talking all these words to my devotees or disciples or followers. I am talking to seekers. There are some still act as if they are my devotees and disciples, are not seekers. There are millions who are not my disciples or devotees but are seekers. This whole satsang I dedicated to seekers. If you are a seeker, no other way other than sannyasa and brahmacharya. In Vedic tradition, even marriage is used to reach the brahmacharya. If you are married, 1 year is more than enough to experience the smell of sweating and move out. If you are a seeker, no other way, no other method, no other lifestyle exists other than brahmacharya for achieving enlightenment. If you do not have the goal of enlightenment in your life, then you do what you want, but don't promote that as a right lifestyle. The untouched beings are the best flowers to be offered at the feet of God. I tell you, if you are completely devoted, how will you feel comfortable? I know I am throwing bomb into many families, but I have to tell some of the spiritual truths. If I hide, I will also allow the poverty of Hinduism. Unless lakhs of sannyasis are created, thousands of enlightened will not be created. Unless thousands of enlightened doesn't happen, hundreds of incarnations won't flower. Unless hundreds of incarnations flower, one or two avataris don't flower. It is the number of people who try that decides number of people win. It is so practical. I am really strong about this necessity for brahmacharya, celibacy, for seeker to get enlightened. The most practical spiritual instruction I can give is brahmacharya. Takes away millions of sufferings, and not only that, even your consciousness. See, the more and more you feel you are married, you are committed to somebody, it is like a continuously cutting the wings of a bird. The more the bird grows, every 3 months, every 2 months, you cut the wings. You just clip the feathers. Will the bird be able to fly ever? It is clipping the feathers. Clipping the feathers is the most unfortunate thing can happen to a bird. Marriage is the most unfortunate thing can happen to a seeker. Seeker does not belong to human species. Seeker. Human beings are only potential of seekers. Seeker is reality started happening from the potentiality called human beings. And master is the realized of the potentiality of human beings. Most violent, most aggressive act your body can commit is sexual intercourse. It is not that every time you commit that act only the lust engrams are awakened, because it is so aggressive act. Your fear, greed, anger, hunger, thirst, laziness, all patterns are brought back to life intensely. It takes at least years for you to get back to the subdued states of patterns. I can clearly prioritize the levels of brahmacharya. Neither having a word, thought, or deed, or imagination, or idea of sexual intercourse in your waking state, dream state, and deep sleep state. Physically not having any intercourse or masturbation, but having wet dreams. If this is your level now, you can be trained through the proper tapas and the meditation process, kriyas. Physically not having intercourse with the other body, but still suffering with the habit of masturbation. Again, you can transcend transcend and transform this habit through the proper kriyas and meditation. What do you call as so-called regular physical sexual life? Even when your body says enough, your mind is not saying enough. So taking tablets like Viagra and some medicines to instigate your body and agitate your body into the physical action. These are the worst things you can commit to your own consciousness. For a seeker, I always insist, encourage, inspire celibacy, brahmacharya as the lifestyle. When you can't live that life, when you don't have confidence and courage, then I give you all right, compromised, do what can be done. But the compromised instruction is not promoted instruction. It is tolerated. Sometimes just accepted. I do not want tolerated trend to become the idea I promote. No. I am very clear. In Nithyananda Sampradaya, sannyasis and sannyasinis will form the top first order. Rishis, Grihasthas, Vanaprasthis, all of them will form only second order. The Brahmacharya sannyasis form the first order. Vanaprastha sannyasis form second order. Rishis form third order. Grihasthas form fourth order. Even if they are fools, just because of their vow of celibacy, they retain certain spiritual strength in their system. My order, one exemption. There are many rishis who have literally become brahmacharis. They will naturally be respected, equivalent to Vanaprastha sannyasis, the second order. Ramakrishna insists so much on this one concept, one truth. He tells, he goes to the extreme. A failed sannyasi is 1,000 times greater than a successful grihastha. Even if somebody takes sannyas and fails in the vow, after 2-3 years, after a few years, or in the last part of his life, even he is much more greater than a grihastha who is successful. Living his whole life doing spiritual practices. Because the very plane both of them think becomes different. If you are a seeker, you are considering whether to get married or not. If you attended your today's satsang, if you are listening now, understand this is a clarion call from God directly to save yourself. Wake up, save yourself. Just few days before, brahmachari and brahmacharini, because of their mood swing, ran away from the ashram and developed an affair and got married. Finally fell into depression. 1 week, maximum 1 week. The fight started, depression started, back to the ashram. We want to be in the feet of Swamiji. Please accept us even as a volunteer. Of course, I had a tremendous sympathy for both the fellows. Especially that brahmachari was a very sincere guy. It's very unfortunate. He has crashed the lust more than 80%. Just last 20%. I told him, just 20%. Wait for next 6 months. You will save yourself. Body will be pure. The engrams will become steam. It will not stay anymore in your system. But foolish fellow. The girl was very egoistic girl. Arrogant. Now, finally, when I see them suffering in the worst depression, crying every day to our brahmacharis, I said, all right, allow them in the ashram, what to do? But one good thing is happening. They become a living example for anybody who has little fantasies. Anybody who has little fantasy, all their fantasy disappears the moment they see this couple. I am not teaching you something life negative. I am not putting negative ideas into you. Understand, I am telling you straight facts. I challenge, including Shiva and Parvati, Radha and Krishna, Ramakrishna and Sharada Devi, can any one of them equate their practical, happy, blissful, joyful life to any one of my fallen sannyasi? Understand the extent I am going. Even my fallen sannyasi is much more happy than Mahadeva and Parvati, then Radha and Krishna, then Sharada Devi and Ramakrishna. Even both of you are enlightened. If you have two bodies, there is always conflict. You may feel, no, how can Swamiji compare with Mahadeva and Parvati? I am not comparing the enlightenment of Mahadeva and Parvati with the enlightenment of my fallen sannyasi. No. I am not comparing the extraordinary powers and capabilities of Mahadeva and Parvati to my fallen sannyasi. No. But I am comparing the practical, peaceful lifestyle where he does not need to come back in time to his bed, where he does not need to bother continuously that he has to think for somebody else also, where he or she cannot make any decision without informing or consulting. Even Mahadeva has to inform to Parvati where he is going, otherwise she is searching for him. Parvati has to consult with Mahadeva what she is doing, and Parvati also will be sometime forced to do something about which she was not convinced. I tell you, Adi Shakti reduces herself as Parvati just because of this Patni Dharma, the commitment of marriage. If the commitment of marriage is removed, Parvati is Adi Shakti. I can go on and on and on telling you thousands and thousands of practical stories. Sita is crying all the time. The day she got married, it's a good day for Rama and bad day for Sita. Fortunately, that bad day did not happen to Radha. She never got married to Krishna. Even in their affair, Radha and Krishna had a lot of problem. Don't think it was a smooth affair. No. There was enough of jealousy, anger, fight, everything. Best life a human being can have is brahmacharya. If a fruit has to happen, flower should not fall from the tree. Fallen flower never becomes fruit. Person who has fallen from brahmacharya never becomes a master. It is very unfortunate. The Vedic tradition lost the intensity of brahmacharya. I tell you, why the Buddhist and Jain traditions, which are offshoots of Hinduism, which has only just few concepts taken from Hinduism, is able to flourish all over the world and retain the capacity to be Jagat Gurus, teach the world. Why did Hinduism is not able to retain that strength, that capacity, inability to live the pure brahmacharya life, celibate life, and not making this brahmacharya celibate life as a mainstream lifestyle? Still in Hinduism, brahmacharya does not become a mainstream lifestyle. In Buddhism and Jainism, it is very common, even from the rich family background, they take up sannyas. I have seen even a small places like my hometown Tiruvannamalai, where a very small Jain community lives. Every year at least 5-6 boys and girls will go around the city. They will be taken in the procession all around the city with a fully clothed and jeweled. I used to ask, what is that procession? Is there a marriage procession? They will say, no, it is a sannyas procession. These boys and girls are becoming sadhus. We are handing them over to the monastery. Before that, we are doing this procession. In Jain tradition, still that habit is there. In whole Tiruvannamalai, the population itself is just 100,000 or 200,000. The Jain population is less than 5,000. Just in 5,000 people every year, at least 5 to 10 highly qualified, rich family background, educated, young, 5 boys and 5 girls at least, became monks. Means what? From the young age, as the part of the mainstream lifestyle, the sannyas was accepted, understood, taught. It is very unfortunate. We Hindus, neither we decide nor we make our next generation respect. I used to feel when I see these educated youngsters, see, they taking sannyas was not like a secret, they run away to a monastery, parents fight, struggle, no. Parents are so happy, they sing and dance in front of the chariot where those youngsters are being carried. They take the kids, they take the youth who are going to take the sannyas all over the city, celebrate, tell the whole world, he is becoming sannyasi, she is becoming a monk, she is becoming sadhvi, he is becoming sadhu. After a procession, they hand over the kids in the temple and the rituals take place. They become sadhu and sadhvi. First thing, from educated, the middle class families, nobody becomes sadhu. If you just walk around Tiruvannamalai, 99% of sadhus are uneducated. Just become sadhu instead of becoming beggars. And remaining 1% sadhus are from middle class, that also family did not accept they becoming sadhus, like my sannyasis. Ran away from the house. Still parents are resisting. Soon, very soon, I take this as a vow, keeping Kala Bhairava as witness. I'll see to it. Parents take their young sons and daughters in procession to hand over them to the Dhyana Peetham as a sannyasis and sannyasinis. Go and see in every Jain village, you will see this ritual happening. In every Buddhist village, any child is born, they send the child even for basic education to monastery. Even we Hindu sannyas organizations, the education institutions which we run, even in that we don't promote sannyas. We are afraid to promote. So even the few sannyas organizations which are evolving like us, media tries to cut it in the bud, destroy it while we grow. They think, why these youngsters are wasting their life? Why are they becoming sannyasis and wasting their life? They are getting brainwashed. All the donkeys which get married only is getting brainwashed. Knowing that it is going to be a tight suffering, heavy suffering, they say, what else is to do? What is the other way? Some of the Indian villages, there is a superstition. If they don't have a rain, if they want rain, they get two donkeys married. I tell them, any marriage is that only. What is there separately? Why will you want separately try to get some? Hey India, listen here. Hey, oh Hindus, listen here. If you want to get back to the glorious seat of Jagat Guru, world teacher, you have only one option. Make monastic lifestyle as a mainstream lifestyle. Let every village have its own monastery, like Tibetan Buddhists, Japanese Zen Buddhists, and Hindu Jains, Indian Jains. You are not going to get back to the seat of Jagat Guru unless you create the brains soaked in the tejas. Tejas is the transformed sex energy, lust energy. Only when the brains are soaked into the tejas, you create gurus, Jagat Gurus. It is time the next generation of Indians, Hindus think not just about your career, that foolish IT job, and a house and car and 2 kids. No. At least few crore people should think sannyas as a mainstream lifestyle. Let all the Hindu education institutions, schools, colleges, make the next generation kids understand about sannyas. Even after being so much abused, I don't feel shy because I know I am a sannyasi. I know honestly I am a sannyasi. It is time next generation takes up this life intensely. It is very unfortunate that our middle class does not accept sannyas as a lifestyle. The poor class accepts sannyas only as a income source. The upper middle class and the upper class hates sannyas lifestyle. The rich communities and the rich group of peoples in Hindu tradition spend more money on the deities and the jewels on the deities and temples than building monasteries and supporting the life of monastics, monks. It is time the mainstream Hindus stop building temples and start building human beings. Stop building Tirumenis, start building Gurumenis. Too much of money, time and energy and importance is given just to the deities and temples and rituals. It is time we move towards building human beings. I am going to speak on this concept of celibacy from different dimension. How it helps personally for your enlightenment, how it helps personally for your happy, peaceful life, free life, how it helps socially, how it helps culturally, how it helps to build the nation, and finally how it helps to the whole world, for the whole humanity. Many married people come and ask me, Swamiji, you speak so much about sannyas and brahmacharya. Please give us sannyas, give us brahmacharya. I say no, because I don't trust you. After 2 years you will tell, I brainwashed you and broke your family. That is why I don't give. Otherwise, nothing like sannyas, nothing like brahmacharya for spiritual seekers. O humanity, for the sake of your personal peace and enlightenment, take up sannyas. If you continue to produce more and more, planet Earth cannot bear anymore. Save the planet Earth by saving yourself. O seekers, become brahmacharin to get enlightened. O monks, live as brahmacharin to achieve the ultimate purity. One living sannyasi can create and help thousands of spiritual seekers. Sannyasis are fruits of this country's spiritual aspiration. They are the fruits of this country's spiritual aspiration. O Hindu youngsters, take up sannyas to save your spiritual tradition and India, the country. Sannyas and brahmacharya, the one and the most important spiritual path for achieving the ultimate enlightenment, achieving the highest reality.
We have an email from one of the Inner Awakening graduates, Rajiv Ramnath from Seattle. He is writing, I wanted to share this unexpected development with me that happened yesterday with Swamiji. After returning from Inner Awakening, I had earlier received a sizable increase in pay and an outstanding rating. Today, my manager called me for a meeting and gave me another huge increase in pay. This was unexpected as it was not part of any regular process. In my 7 years here, I have not seen or heard of this happen. Now, the really interesting part of this pay increase. Out of curiosity, I computed the difference between what I was making before and the new pay. The difference came up to exactly match up what the three of us had spent on Inner Awakening. I am very grateful to Swamiji as he continues to perform miracles every minute in our lives. Thank you, Swamiji.
Raji, when you are working with somebody, amaze on. Naturally, your life goes on expressing the incidents of amaze on.
The next question is from Kaushik from Mumbai. He is asking, Respected Swamiji, Hail Berry, who is draped in a bright red sari in her upcoming film Cloud Atlas, says she is fascinated with Indian culture and wants to know it better. India is a fascinating country with myriad layers in it. I wanted to take a step towards learning more about one of the oldest cultures in the world. Berry said in a statement, "What is it about Indian culture which attracts so many people from all over the world?"
Kaushik, understand, world is becoming more and more intelligent. They are disillusioned by the Western political distorted way of presenting even the history of the world. And they start realizing the depth and the heritage and cultural strength and antiquity of Indian culture. I am so happy that so many intelligent people are realizing and reaching out to learn the Indian culture. I welcome Halberry and request her to visit the Delhi Akshardham Swaminarayan temple and connect with the Swaminarayan organization. I know and I am very clear. Anybody wants to know about the spiritual culture of planet Earth, they are going to turn towards only India and Hinduism. Oh Hindus, be prepared and get ready before it gets stolen away from you.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. a spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters, India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment. He is the 293rd Pontiff of the world's most ancient Hindu organization, Madurai Adinam.
Nithyanandaya swagatam Anandanubhavaswadam Sarvaroganivarakam Vande Papa Vinashaktam Nithyanandaya swagatam Nityamuktam Nirvikalpam Dhyanaloka Pradipakam Vande Shanta